Greetings, everyone. This is Dave Yeske, and thank you so much for joining us today for a discussion of financial literacy and its role in life. Save, spend, donate, and invest. Before we get started, I wanted to just start out with um, a little bit of housekeeping. When you logged into the webinar, you see a little control panel, which should look like this, what you're seeing on your screen now. And I wanted to let you know that we're going to take questions throughout the presentation that you submit via the question chat bar at the bottom, and we'll catch them as we can. And then at the end, we're going to continue to take questions, both through the chat bar and also if you want to speak, you can click on the button that says hand up. And if we see your hand up, we can unmute you. You can ask your question or engage in whatever dialogue you'd like with us, and we'll go from there. But you can submit questions either way, and use the chat box through the main presentation. And if you want to talk to us, you can do so at the end. So thank you very much. So today we're going to talk about the concept of financial literacy, where we think it falls in importance in individuals' lives, in society. We're then going to extend that to talk about what we've done in in response to the beliefs we've formed about the role of financial literacy and the tools that we've developed that we think can be very helpful in promulgating financial literacy among those we love. And then we'll talk about some specific financial planning practices that can also be a very valuable way to just sort of to manage the day-to-day financial decisions that we all have to make. So the notion of financial literacy, it sort of operates in two realms, along two dimensions. On the one hand, it involves some financial principles for how we make decisions on a day-to-day basis about spending, saving, investing, and so forth. And then the second realm is the realm of sort of financial institutions and financial products. That's very important to understand. So on the one hand, it's a skill set, and it's sort of a principles-based skill set. And on the other hand, it's sort of a broader knowledge or awareness of the landscape: financial products, financial services, credit cards, checking accounts, what different kinds of loans look like, whether it's a student loan or a mortgage or a car loan, and so forth. Really, one of the things that's unfortunate is that financial literacy is not more of a fundamental part of the basic education that our children get growing up, going through elementary school, middle school, high school. I think the purpose at the broadest possible level, one of the reasons for public education is this notion that it prepares young people to be good citizens. And so, they study history, they study civics, and they study literature and writing and reading skills. But typically there's very little in the area of financial literacy, and yet it's hard to imagine anything more important than financial literacy to navigating life. We read the statistics all the time, suggesting that a frighteningly large number of high school graduates and college students don't understand how to think about credit cards, don't understand how to calculate what it's costing them in interest, don't know how to balance a checkbook, don't know how to evaluate different loan options, including when dealing with student loans. And yet these are fundamental survival skills that we think everyone needs to have. So there's sort of a larger social issue of how do we get more of these skills into our fundamental training nationwide. And then there's the secondary, question of how can each of us individually and on our own start thinking about how to take care of the people we love, how to make sure that our children and grandchildren and nieces and nephews, or any other young people who are important to us, have that skill set, have the knowledge in those two realms of how to think about money and also how to and also understand what the landscape is, understand what different products look like. And it's a process of lifelong learning. It's like so much of life. There's never an end to it because first of all, there are financial innovations that come along every day, and for better or for worse, a lot of those financial innovations are meant to enrich financial services enterprises. Big credit card companies and lenders. They're not really meant to. They don't start with the goal of making life better for the people who use those products. They start with the goal of making products that are going to be profitable. And so it's important, sort of in a defensive sense, for everyone to continuously be educated as to how to think about these new products, these new innovations, in a way that serves them. So the other point is that money is important, but money doesn't by itself buy a successful life. But you have to understand money to be able to navigate life in a way that leaves you in control, that leaves you hopefully free of the anxieties that go along with not understanding the money forces. A good friend and of ours and a great thinker and theorist within the financial planning profession, Dick Wagner, often used to refer to money as the most powerful secular force on the planet. And there are so many ways in which this is absolutely true, because money permeates everything we do. Money is the mechanism through which we interact with the material world. And so money it becomes freighted with all kinds of sort of cultural significance in addition to the very survival skills. And in fact, Dick used to refer to money skills as 21st century survival skills. And we completely agree with him that this is, it's as fundamental as any other survival skill. It's knowing how to get up and shower and shave and get dressed and go to a job. You need to understand the money skills. So, as always for us, this sort of all sort of it is framed through the lens of our concept of live big. And live big, as those of you who know us have heard many times, is about the size of your life, not the size of your wallet. It's about having a large vision for your life. But part of being able to live big and sort of experience the fullest and most satisfying life is being in control of those money forces. And so with that, I would like to turn you over to Lauren Morellis, one of our team here at Yeski Buoy, and she's going to talk a little bit about some of the very specific programs that we've put together to help facilitate conversations with young people at various stages of life about money, its role, and how to master it. So, Lauren, take it away.
Excellent. Thanks, Dave. So, to reiterate a few points that Dave has already made, we at Yeski Buoy believe that, just like you saw on the slide, while money doesn't buy a successful life, an understanding of money is crucial to one. And we believe the earlier we can start imparting that understanding of money to our children, the better. And so, because of this belief and passion, we've put together a financial literacy for youth program that contains a series of tools to help clients educate and facilitate conversations about money and finance with those who are most important to them, whether that be a child, a grandchild, a niece, a nephew, a godchild, whoever's most important in their lives. And so, as you can see from this graphic, our program starts with tools for children ages 3 to 7 and continues through a young adult's college graduation. And we work hard to proactively provide these tools to those who are important to our clients. And at the same time, we recognize that it's always possible that there's someone in your life that we are not connected with. So if there is someone special in your life who you would like to receive one or all of these tools, please let us know. You can contact any member of the Yeski Buoy team, and we'll be sure to get your loved ones taken care of and into this program. So with that aside, let's take a deeper look into each of these tools. For children ages 3 to 7, we like to share a tool called the Money Savvy Pig. And the Money Savvy Pig not only teaches kids how to save money, as is the case with a traditional piggy bank, but also how to manage it. So instead of the traditional piggy bank that has one single chamber, the Money Savvy Pig has four chambers to introduce the concepts of saving, spending, donating, and investing. And these four options prompt a child to make a financial decision and perhaps have a conversation with mom and dad each time they go to make a deposit into that piggy bank. And as you can see here, sort of in the picture, the body of the pig is transparent. So it allows the child to track their accounts and watch their funds grow. And to the left, the image on the left is a customized entertainment card that we include in the package that we send. And it is designed to, again, just help reinforce these four concepts and add a little bit more fun. So the pigs come in a variety of colors, and overall, we just feel they serve as a fun introduction to the concepts of saving, spending, donating, and investing. Moving along, for children ages 8 to 12, we like to share a tool called the Cash Cache, which is a more sophisticated tool to learn about those same concepts that were introduced earlier: saving, spending, donating, and investing. And with the Cash Cache, a child can keep their cash and coins in small pouches, just like they might do with their pencils at school. In addition to the four sturdy pouches, the Cash Cache has pockets, and that is good for keeping coupons or receipts. And there's also a 35-page handbook that covers the basics of personal finance, everything from goal setting to budgeting, credit cards, even taxes, and other kind of relevant topics. And the handbook, we feel, serves as an interactive tool to help kids and parents work through those money conversations together. The child can work on it on their own and come back to the parent, and then there can be additional conversations had about that. And just like we do with the Money Savvy Pig, the image to the left is a customized entertainment card that's more appropriate for this age group, again, just to provide another fun touch. So we find the Cash Cache to be a great tool, again, to empower young kids to establish and work towards simple goals, learn more about these financial concepts, and think about money. Next up, for teens, age 13, we like to share a book titled OMG, the Official Money Guide for Teenagers. And this book continues to expand on the lessons introduced in earlier tools, and it also introduces more complex terms, things related to insurance, debit and credit cards, investments, and even identity theft protection, which we all know to be a hot and relevant topic in today's world. Another thing that it teaches, an important concept, is the idea of making choices and the important difference between needs and wants, and of course uses examples that are specifically that teens can relate to, maybe things about buying concert tickets and deciding if that's a want or a need. And these examples give new spenders and earners a way to think about money in a way that's non-threatening and practical. And one of the ways it does so is by inserting a little bit of humor along the way. And so we find that this book is receptive for teens and is just a fun and engaging way to be reintroduced to these concepts. So the next book that we have is a book titled What Color is Your Parachute for Teens? And the previous three tools focused more on the financial concepts. And this book rather focuses on it aligns a lot with our Live Big philosophy, and it encourages the reader to zero in on their passions through a series of different discovery exercises that ask the reader to explore what is it that you love to do? And who do you love to work with? And where do you love to be? And we think that junior year of high school is the perfect time to share this book because that's exactly when teens are being asked to identify their interests, make decisions about potential college majors, and idealize what their dream job might look like. And an updated edition of this book was released in 2015, and that is the tool that we use so parents can be sure that their teens are spending their time with a resource that includes up-to-date activities and advice on topics related to interviewing and social media habits and internships and other things that juniors in high school might be faced with. So, with this book, we hope to encourage your teen to identify their interests, harness their passions, and turn those passions into a career as they begin visiting and applying to colleges, and ultimately, we hope, pursuing their Live Big goals. Next up, to celebrate, as we will be doing here shortly in a month or so, celebrating high school graduates' big accomplishment. We like to send them a personalized congratulations card, and we also include the book Five. Where will you be 5 years from today? And similarly to the What Color is Your Parachute book, the purpose of this book is to get your creative juices flowing and to inspire you to really get in touch with your dreams. And it does so by giving the reader some wonderful quotes. We particularly like this one. It aligns with one of our values here at Yeski Buoy. It includes different stories, and there's also some mini exercises throughout the book. And so it encourages you to think about and appreciate what it is that you want to do in the next 5 years, what it is that you are choosing or are going to choose to do, and what is it that you really can't wait to do in the next 5 years. And of course, this is very fitting for a high school graduate as they prepare to enter a new stage of their life. And that said, we find this book is good not just for high school graduates, but really for anyone wanting to plan 5 year goals for themselves. And finally, for college graduates, we like to share the book Generation Earn, which has my favorite subtitle to bring everything back around: The Young Professional's Guide to Spending, Investing, and Giving Back. And that should sound familiar because, as you can see, these are the concepts that we were introducing to the 3 and 7 year old child, and they're still the key underlying concepts to help a young adult build their successful financial life. And one of the things we like to say is that young professionals have an implicit superpower. They have the time to save and to plan. And that said, there's no doubt that today's world is complex and there are an overwhelming number of financial decisions to be made and to think about. Things like, what should you be doing with your savings? And should you take on that freelance job? Where should you invest your money? Should you keep renting or should you change over and buy a house? How can you support the causes that you believe in? And Generation Earn looks to answer those questions, and it does so through three different sections. So, part one focuses on the self and one's professional goals, their personal spending habits, debt management, and investments. Part two focuses on the home and decisions relating to renting and buying, marriage, starting a family. And part three focuses on impact, on your impact on the world, and explores topics including green spending, sustainable donating, and supporting nonprofits. So collectively, these all add up to create the foundation of a plan for many of the major decisions a young professional will have to make as they look to pursue and create their successful financial life. And with that, we end our in depth review of our Financial Literacy for Youth program. We hope you've enjoyed learning about these tools. And like I said at the beginning, if there's anything of interest in one of the tools specifically, or a child that you have the privilege of watching grow and mature, please don't hesitate to reach out to anyone on your financial planning team. We hope that you and your loved ones find these tools to be engaging and educational. And with that, I am going to turn the floor over to Yusuf Abujaderi, who will be sharing more about practices that support financial success.
Thank you, Lauren. And so now that we've gone through a tour of our financial literacy program, we'd like to spend a few moments describing how one's relationship with their financial life grows through the financial planning process. In the coming slides, we'll outline the process through which we get to know our clients and help them learn more about themselves, and tools we use to make the financial planning process work in service of their goals. The first two stages of the financial planning process are 1, establishing and defining the client and planner relationship, and 2, gathering data and determining goals and expectations. In the 2008 paper written by Anderson and Sharp, they noted that this is most effectively achieved through a systematic discovery process. In the study they conducted, they determined that, based on what real financial planning clients had reported, such a process led to higher rates of satisfaction, cooperation, and openness about personal and financial goals. The discovery process is the first stage of the financial planning process and illustrates the essence of the value of the financial planning engagement. When given the opportunity to share about themselves, clients are primed to think of their life in terms of what is possible. When asked questions and given the space to examine their life, they have the opportunity to identify their worldview, values, goals, and what is at their heart's core. Going through this discovery process serves as the foundation for the financial planning process, as uncovering this information provides the operating instructions for the client's financial plan as they evaluate trade-offs in the present and within the context of changing circumstances as the years pass. Revisiting the discovery process at each annual review meeting ensures their financial plan continues to reflect their worldview and value system as their life unfolds. After asking our clients to tell us about themselves and exploring their histories with them, we utilize tools designed by Money Quotient to continue to learn more about who they are. Money Quotient is a nonprofit organization founded on the belief that a holistic and multidisciplinary approach to financial education and planning will engage individuals and inspire them to maximize their resources and live purposeful lives. The organization was founded by Carol Anderson, one of the authors mentioned in the study referenced on the previous slide. One of the tools we use is the Wheel of Life, which asks clients to score their satisfaction as it relates to each of the 9 spokes on this wheel. Each spoke represents a major facet of their lives. Once each spoke has received a score, the client is asked to connect the dots to determine the shape of their wheel. We then ask exploratory questions to begin the goal-setting process by learning more about the client's present situation, like, is your life wheel round, or does it show flat spots? Is it deflated, or is it full? What does this exercise tell you about your life? Is your life balanced? Are there areas of your life that need attention? In what facets would you like to experience more satisfaction? After working through this exercise with our clients, we spend time digesting what we've learned and then work with them to draft financial planning policies that will guide them towards realizing the life they're envisioning for themselves. How do financial planning policies help clients turn the aspirations they have for their lives into reality? They specifically address the unique needs of the client by using information uncovered during the discovery process to craft decision architecture that clears the path to the realization of their desired future. But what exactly are financial planning policies? As described in the articles published in 2006 and 2014 that Dave and Elisa wrote about policy-based financial planning, policies are compact decision rules that tighten the feedback loop in one's decision-making process and can help to ensure that a client's actions align with their values and goals. We'll spend the next few minutes explaining exactly what that means and how policies can be used effectively with clients. What makes a policy different from a belief, which shapes your view of the world, a goal, which describes something you'd like to achieve, or an action item, which is a step that must be completed to achieve a goal? Policies are dynamic. When unique inputs based on changing circumstances are fed into the policy, it must have the capacity to return unique outputs. A good policy is constructed such that it has enough breadth to address any conceivable development while providing specific instruction as to what to do next. Financial planning policies streamline the decision-making process, empowering the client to act decisively while feeling confident about that their actions align with their values. Policies shift clients' focus from their resources to their resourcefulness. It's not about the money, but what they do with their money in service of their financial planning goals. And so after going through the discovery process and helping the client describe their value system around money, their worldview, and their financial planning goals, we work with our clients to co-create their policies, and we'll use this illustration to explain how policies work.
And Yusuf,
so
can I just jump in here? Oh, sorry, Absolutely. This is Dave. I just wanted to, before you sort of explain how this works, I just wanted to note that one of the things that we found is that, and sort of connecting this with everything that's gone before this morning, is that financial planning policies can be particularly powerful with young people just starting out in life. You know, you graduate from school and get your first job, and all of a sudden you have all of these decisions that you have to make in terms of what employee benefit should I choose? You know, should I participate in the 401k plan? How much should I put into the plan? What should I do with the money once it's there? Do I need a renter's policy for my apartment? How much of an emergency fund should I need? And these are all decisions that they're going to have to keep remaking because there's often more than one job in their first few years out of school. There's just a lot of life changes. First job, first apartment, second job, second apartment, buying a home or a condo. And so these policies can be particularly powerful in terms of empowering them to navigate these decisions they have to make once they're out in the real world. Anyway, sorry to interrupt, Yusuf. Carry on.
No, that's quite all right, Dave, and a perfect segue into the next few points that we're getting ready to cover. And so as you mentioned, we've shared a bit of information regarding an array of tools that we share with people as they grow and help them develop their financial literacy. And policies are just next in that line, or the next tool in that line. And so to help a young person develop general cash flow policies, for example, to enable them to achieve a savings goal, we begin by identifying a savings target. And that would be the surplus cash flow above what they need to meet their immediate expenses. And so as we go through this illustration, it's important to note the dynamism that's built into the structure that allows it to serve its purpose now and into the future. So the first policy here is to use surplus cash flow, in this case, 10% of the client's income, to build and maintain an emergency fund equal to spending needs for 6 months. And note that identifying a savings target that's a percentage of income allows the target to grow from a nominal value as their income grows. And establishing an emergency fund equal to 6 months of spending needs allows that balance to grow or go down as spending needs change. So the way this structure works is that each bucket must be filled before additions are made to the next bucket. And they're listed in order of priority given the client's goals that were uncovered during the discovery process, as we described earlier. And so once the emergency fund is intact, the next target for surplus cash is to maximize salary deferrals to employer retirement plans. And of course, one of the reasons for doing so would be to take advantage of unique tax benefits or capitalizing on free money via an employer match. And then so on and so forth. Once this bucket is filled, the surplus cash is directed towards the next bucket. And before we continue, I want to make a note about the policy illustrated by the bucket on the left under windfalls. For a young client looking to pay down their student debt, for example, having a policy in place about what to do with unexpected income can be really impactful. Rather than spending an entire bonus on something they don't really need, making sure at least a portion of that windfall, in this case 10%, is directed towards additional debt service above and beyond their monthly obligations, enables the client to know that they're doing something in service of their financial planning goals and positioning themselves for a brighter future while enjoying the benefits of the extra money today. And so policies provide a dynamic way to make decisions in service of those goals that are uncovered during the discovery process. One of the ways that clients can track their progress in living their policies is through the use of a cash flow tracker like Mint or Quicken, or even a personalized Excel spreadsheet. Employing these types of tools fosters active engagement with the financial planning process and promotes awareness about the effect of financial decisions in real time. But what about new questions or goals that emerge after the financial planning process has begun? While we've already mentioned that the financial plan must be reviewed regularly and clients and planners need to reconnect to determine if the plan still fits, there are other resources about which clients should be aware that we think are really valuable and can serve as a starting point to explore the answers to questions as they come up. So one of those resources is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which exists to help protect the interests of financial consumers. The CFPB achieves action through the process of empowerment, enforcement, and education. And for those looking for trusted financial information about a number of the topics that Dave mentioned at the top of the call, the CFPB has a variety of reliable tools and resources available on their website, including how to secure an auto loan, how to proceed with the process of owning a home and getting a mortgage, information for students, frequently asked questions about credit reports or how to improve your score, and so on. And last but certainly not least, one of the ways Yesky Buoy contributes to our clients' awareness of key financial issues is through our digest and through events like this. And just to point out that, of course, we are always available to connect and walk an idea or a question around the block as you go through the financial planning process. And with that, I'll cede the floor back to Dave.
Or cede the floor back to all three of us. So this was all we had to share this morning, and we'd like to talk about this as much as anyone wants to talk about it. So reaching out to us offline by phone or coming into the office or by email is always welcome. But we have a few more minutes this morning. If anyone wants to pose a question by typing into that question box or raising your hand and having us unmute you, I will pause for a moment to see to give you all a chance to ponder. And Lauren, Yusuf, did you have anything else you wanted to add as we get to as we sort of wrap up here?
Not I.
One of the things that I should mention is that Lauren did a post to the Live Big Way Digest a little while back, in which she discussed some of the really interesting and useful tools that can be found on the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau website, which Yusuf mentioned a moment ago. And so if anybody's interested, just drop us a line, just email us after the fact, and and we'll be happy to send you a link to that web post. Okay, so let's see. We have a question from Jonathan, wondering what is magic about 6 months as an emergency timeline. That's a really great question, Jonathan, and the answer is this: 3 to 6 months is a rule of thumb. It's just an average that seems to be appropriate for most people. Now, if someone is actually in a financial planning engagement with us, we're going to come up with an emergency fund that is specifically crafted to their life circumstances. So, for example, if someone has extremely stable income and a lot of job security, then we're likely to size the emergency fund to fill the gap between the onset, say, of a disability and the beginning of their long-term disability insurance. So if someone has a 3-month waiting period before disability would kick in, then we would likely recommend a 4-month emergency fund. Because the thing that's important to remember with disability income insurance is after 3 months, you begin to earn benefits, but you don't actually receive them for yet another month. So you have to fill a 4-month gap. We've had other circumstances where clients were very successful financially, but they were in a business or a profession where their income tended to be highly unstable, where they had good earnings, but they might go for months at a time without earnings. They might have a big payday once or twice a year, and we've had clients where we actually recommended as much as a 12-month emergency fund where that was the case. So we're within the financial planning context. There is no one magic number. We're going to try and determine a number that's specifically custom fit for an individual's specific financial and professional circumstances. However, as a general rule, for most people, if you don't have at least 3 months worth of spending needs tucked away somewhere, that we think that's a problem. We think most people, just because they can have job changes where there may be an interruption of income, they might have a health issue or a disability that again could create an interruption of income, or just have uninsured losses or insured losses where there may be a delay. So the idea is if you have at least 3 months, you're in general, on average, you're well prepared, and as much as 6 months is really a fantastic cushion because it gives you flexibility. It allows you to make choices that people who don't have a cushion can't make. So that's me giving the long answer to the short question. Those of you who know me know I'm good at that. But coming back to the beginning, there's nothing magic about 6 months or 3 months, but somewhere between 3 and 6 months works for most people. And for people that we're working with, we'll come up with a customized number specific to their circumstances. Victor has a question. I know that Yeski Bui handles investments for 401k and IRA accounts. My company is considering starting HSAs, that's a health savings account, for employees. Does Yeski Bui handle investments for HSA accounts? And the answer is we don't handle investments for health savings accounts, although we're happy to make recommendations for where to put that money, how to invest it if it makes sense to invest it, and how to manage it in general. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, health savings accounts are something that's available to individuals who have high deductible medical insurance plans. And what it allows you to do is it allows you to put money away pre-tax, so you don't basically, it's like a deduction, but it comes out of your paycheck before you ever see it. You don't pay any taxes on that money, and then use it to pay medical expenses that you would normally pay out of pocket because you hadn't satisfied your deductible, and that money comes out of the health savings account tax-free. So essentially, it allows you to pay your out-of-pocket medical expenses with tax-free dollars, and it could be a very powerful thing. We love talking about that. We're happy to talk to you, Victor, about what makes the most sense for you. So to come back, we don't actually manage those accounts, but we can recommend where to place them and how to manage them. and because in some cases it may not make sense to invest other than in a money market fund, because there may be a high expectation or a high probability that you'll be pulling that money out sooner rather than later. But that's a really good question, and that's another example of the kind of important decisions that people have to make with respect to their employee benefits. And so it's good to have policies around that, and it's also good to, if you're working with us, please check in. I have a friend who's she's not a financial planner, she's a tax person, but she likes to say to her clients, if you call me after you've done something, all I can do is write up an accident report, which is a joke, not a joke. The reality is we want to be your first call. And, when it comes to anything, a change in your employee benefits, come to us. We want to talk to you about it and help you make the best decision. Well, not seeing any more questions, and let me again repeat myself. We're always available to answer questions. You can call us up, you can email us, come into the office, whatever's most convenient for you. As you know, we want to keep talking about this, but I think that we'll wrap up for this morning. And I want to thank you all for spending some time with us, and I want to thank Lauren and Yusuf for putting together this wonderful discussion. And we'll look forward to seeing you on our next webinar.